From the fields to the court.
Mike's hot.
And the tracks.
Electrifying sports talk from start to finish.
You're going wire to wire.
With Diesel and Cole Bryson.
On the Fan Upstate.
It is tough, Cole, to watch your heroes be surpassed. And I feel like I saw a little bit of that this morning out on the golf course. I was up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed first thing this morning at Thornblade Golf Club here in Greenville, about 3 miles away from our studios right now. Got there just in time to watch the man, the myth, the legend, Bill Murray tee off. He was not playing well today, but I think that's because he's not a particularly great golfer. Doesn't matter. He has a good time out there. But, Cole, I think the 24, 25-year-old YouTube celebrity in the pairing behind us was the biggest star on the golf course today. Grant Horvat teed off right behind us, and his throng of followers was huge.
Did you say think, Diesel? Think? Is that what you said?
But it's Bill Murray.
Nah, doesn't matter.
Bill Murray.
Yeah, but guess what? 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, who is Bill Murray to them? They don't know who Bill Murray is. I absolutely am not surprised by that.
Really?
Yeah, and look, Bill Murray, not calling you old man, but Bill Murray, people know if they're older in age, but you got to think, that big crowd that you saw, the big crowd that I saw last year, Diesel, it was a bunch of 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds. They don't have a clue who Bill Murray is.
A lot of knee braces in the Bill Murray crowd.
Yeah.
A lot of younger folks in the Grant Horvat crowd. Welcome into Wire to Wire. He's Cole Bryson. My name is Diesel. The BMW Charity Pro-Am going on right now in Spartanburg and in Greenville at the two different golf courses as a part of this event. It was a blast being out there this morning, man. The weather was perfect. It was a good day to be out on the course. A couple of big-time celebrities were out there doing their thing. I'm going to tell you right now, you wouldn't suspect this, but Bill's brother Joel, I wouldn't expect you to know who that is, Joel Murray, far better golfer than Bill is. And Bill is known as the golfer.
And how old is Bill now? That's the thing. No offense,
yeah, that's a good question.
He's getting up there, isn't he? I mean, he's getting up there in age.
Bill is 75. What?
Yeah.
75.
I was going to say, not many 75-year-olds good at golf.
So that's the question to start the show, Tolos. Is Grant Horvat a bigger star now than Bill Murray? And Bill Murray's got some amazing credits to his name, right? You look up his IMDb. Scrooged, Caddyshack, obviously. Saturday Night Live, back in the legendary era. Yes, he's 75, but he's in I'm going to put it, the number one golf movie of all time. Is Caddyshack the number one golf movie of all time?
Yeah, it's close. I mean, it's top three and arguably number one, and I think most people would be okay if it is number one. It's a good one, right? It's a real good movie. And look, have
you seen it?
I have. Taken nothing away from Bill Murray, but you don't see crowds follow Bill Murray the way you do Grant Horvat for one reason. Bill Murray's not on social media. Bill Murray's not on YouTube the way that Grant Horvat is. And in today's age, when you look at just how popular that guy is on YouTube and all of the social media channels out there, there's a reason those crowds are out there. And I met him last year. We had him on the show last year. He was super nice guy, just phenomenal guy, very down to earth. I'm not a golf guy, but I'm a fan of Grant Horvat because obviously what he's doing, I mean, you just look at the impact, Diesel, that he's making. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's enormous. And it's one of those guys that, Tolos, if you have kids who are getting into golf, who are interested in golf content, first of all, put them on the golf content instead of like watching people play Roblox or Minecraft or whatever. Have them watch golf content because at least that might inspire them to get out and play some golf themselves. Yeah. Master Dan B says, never heard of him. Grant Horvat. He says, I'm totally in the Bill camp because I have no idea who Grant is.
You've never heard of Grant Horvat? Are you kidding me?
I mean, again, it is an age thing. And we're not cracking on Dan. We're not cracking on you, Dan. I promise Grant Horvat is a young golf influencer on social media. He's not an actor. You know, he's not out there playing on tour, right? He's not making a name for himself that way. He's like Bryson DeChambeau without Liv.
So basically, we've really simplified and nailed this thing down real quick. If you're 45 plus, you don't know who Grant Horvat is. You know who Bill Murray is. If you're anything less, of course you know who Grant Horvat is. JB on YouTube says, who is Grant Horvat? He says, I don't do golf. I don't golf either, JB, but I still know who Grant Horvat is. Grant Horvat's the most popular YouTube golfer out there. But again, not cracking old man jokes. It's an age gap. It's an age difference. And
it is, but my 28-year-old wife, she's all about some Bill Murray. She was freaking out. She's like, oh, yeah, that's Bill Murray. But she also grew up on Bill Murray.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you grew up and watch the movies. And here's another thing. Talk about what's Bill Murray most known for? What industry?
Acting.
Movies. Guess what? This younger demographic, go look at the data, the research. They don't watch a lot of they don't watch a lot of movies. It's the short film, the YouTube, the TikTok, right? It's the short stuff.
They got no They got no attention span.
I don't watch. And that's the same reason. It's the same reason I don't watch movies.
Whoa. So normally we never want to have a Tolo turn off the show. Right? Like that Tolo means turn on, leave on. Mm-hmm. I would give this texter permission to turn off the show right now because a texter says, I'm 28 years old and I've never seen Caddyshack.
Yeah.
How have you even Cole has seen Caddyshack?
It's been a long time. I watched it. It was one of the first, I remember watching Caddyshack, and Chevy Chase was in it, right?
Chevy Chase was in it.
A few others.
It's such a classic. It's such a classic.
It's an old movie.
I think shot in the 80s.
Yeah. Set
in the 80s. Tolos, what's on your Mount Rushmore, your top 3, Metal Stand, whatever it might be, all-time GOAT golf movies? Happy Gilmore has to be on the list. There's not a ton of golf movies.
Yeah, I think Happy
Legend
Gilmore.
of Bagger Vance. I mean, it's not a comedy. It's a different style of golf movie, but,
I think Happy Gilmore might be better than Caddyshack. I like Caddyshack a lot.
Get out of here.
But again, I'm not a movie guy. I'm telling you, Diesel, like when I tell you today's June 5th, I don't know if I've watched 3 movies this year. I just don't watch movies. You know that. You ask me all the time. I don't watch a lot of movies. I'm not like big on movies. Movies take 2-3 hours, and just to be quite frank, I don't have 2 to 3 hours a lot of days. So I don't watch a lot of them. But I did like Caddyshack. No hate toward it, but it's just a lot of people probably haven't seen it because it is a older movie. 1980, I believe, is when it came out.
Dan on the stream says Ned. He's talking about Ned Jarrett. That is unfortunate. Ned Jarrett passed away earlier today at the age of 93 years old, a legend of the sport of NASCAR. Had that come across my phone earlier today. That's sad. Obviously, to be real, I didn't know Ned Jarrett was still alive. I didn't know he was still kicking around out there. But at 93, man, he made it a long time.
That's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a long time.
Yeah.
Let's see on YouTube as well. Dan B says Gilmore, then Caddy. JB says Happy Gilmore, then Caddy. Then I agree with them as well. So I think Happy Gilmore is the better of the two. Both are good, but I think
10 Cup. I forgot about 10 Cup.
Yeah.
Forgot about 10 Cup. Legend of Bagger Vance, The Greatest Game, which had like a 9-year-old Shia LaBeouf in it. The Short Game, it's like a kids golf movie. Not a ton of golf movies out there, right? Not a ton of them. Are out there. There should be more. There's this Will Ferrell golf movie that's on the way. I don't know if it's going to be any good. It's probably going to be crap because I think it's more like Netflix slop, Netflix crap movies these days.
Yeah, and I just wonder with YouTube being as popular as it is, like YouTube golf, I just wonder. I'm not saying there's not a place for golf movies, but I just wonder if like golf movies do as well as YouTube golf. Like Grant Horvat, what do you need a golf movie for when he's got the numbers he does?
I think it's high time, Cole, and I think you would agree with me, and some of our Tolos would as well. It's high time to bring back the sports movie. For a while there were so many great sports movies coming out. I'm thinking of the Major Leagues and the Bull Durhams and the Caddyshacs and the 10 Cups and all these great sports movies. We don't get them anymore, right? We really don't. Was the last great one Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler, and his series of basketball movies? Were those the last great sports movies?
Was that the one? What was the one with Adam Sandler where he trained? Was that Uncut Gems where he trained the guy What was that movie?
Uncut Gems was the one where he was a degenerate gambler, and it had Kevin Garnett in it.
No, I'll tell you which one I did like. I'm researching it right now. Hustle. That was a good one.
Yeah,
I really did like Hustle.
Good basketball.
That was 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And again, maybe it's been a while. It does feel like it's been a while since good sports movies have been out. I don't know if it's just sports movies. I don't know, Diesel. If movies in general are popping the way they used to pop.
That's also true. And part of it is a quality issue, because some of the movies that are coming out now are just Netflix slop. I mean, Netflix Studios stinks. They're making a bunch of stinker movies. We're not getting the great movies like we used to anymore.
Yeah,
I think that's part of it. But also, Cole, I've come full circle on the whole concept of, I used to think an hour movie wasn't long enough to give me a deep story. Mm-hmm. So then I gravitated towards serial television shows, 12 episodes, 15 episodes, multiple seasons. And now when I see something and somebody says, hey, you got to go check out this show, and I see it's 4 seasons of 15 episodes a pop, I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
It's like, I am not giving you 60 hours of my life. I'm not starting. I don't care how good it is. I'm not starting a 4-season series from scratch.
It's different. I grew up going to movies, and I still enjoy going to movies. Like, if a good movie comes out, I like going to the theater, and there's still something cool about it to me. Growing up, I went to the movie theater quite a good bit, at least compared to, how much we go now. We don't ever go now. When's the last time you've been? Yeah.
Theaters are dying.
Yeah, it's just not a thing anymore. And it's unfortunate, and it doesn't feel like you can consume what you used to, because when you have so many HBO, Netflix, this, that, and the other, there's so many movies out there. How in the world do you keep your head above water? How in the world do you try to keep up with different movies? You have to watch 2 a night on Netflix to watch every movie out there. So it's tough.
Yeah, that is true. Some of the celebrities that were out on the course today, I'm not going to list them all off, of course, but Bill and Joel Murray, Grant Horvat, Clint Dempsey was on the course today. Let's see, Roger Clemens, Steve Smith, a couple of guys. Some of those should be around hole number 8 or 9, but about to make the turn. Roger and Steve, they're not paired up together, but they're one group apart.
You remember last year Grant Horvat didn't make the cut?
I do remember that.
Didn't make the cut.
People questioned, yeah, you're an interesting YouTube golfer, but are you a golfer, right? It's like, you're not a competitive golfer, even though your channel is massive. You can say the same thing about Bryson DeChambeau right now, especially when he goes and plays PGA events. Like, big personality. You can get a lot of people to watch you.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to be a great golfer. You don't have to be a competitive golfer to do that. And Grant Horvat, I think it's one of those iron sharpens iron. I think when you can make content and record and drop your jokes in between shots, it's just different than playing a pressure-packed golf tournament. It's like being a YouTube guitar player, people that record themselves playing guitar or singing songs or playing drums on YouTube. It's very different from being in a band and going out on stage.
Is he included in the leaderboard, Grant? Have you seen how he's playing?
Look at BMW Pro-Am leaderboard.
I was just curious. I know
I had not looked
the
it up
Corn,
to see what they were doing.
So the Corn Ferry guys are obviously on there. I just don't know. I don't think they put the amateurs on the PGA website. I think you have to go to a different website, Diesel, I believe, to see. And I could be wrong on that. I think it's just the PGA guys, I think. I don't know how big the field is when it comes to
yeah, we'll see if we can get an update on that for the Tolos a little bit later on in the show.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking now. There's over 150.
I do know that Del Curry shot an 8 under yesterday.
Wow.
Roger Clemens shot a 5 under. There's a couple of these celebrity golfers who played really well yesterday. Again, that was a social media post by the BMW Pro-Am after the fact. So I don't know if those were being posted anywhere live.
So Dale's in it this year of the Currys?
Yes, he is. Dale and Seth.
I know Seth was in it last year. I just can't remember if Dale. I don't think Dale was in it last year, was he?
Yeah, I don't think he was.
I think it was just Seth. Now that the Warriors as bad as they are, they ought to get Steph. out here. I mean,
he's got time,
why can't
right?
Steph play in this thing, right?
I mean, in years past, he couldn't play in it because the Warriors were still deep in a playoff run.
Yeah.
Now all the exit interviews are done. They cut these guys loose. They can go home for the summer.
Cabo, baby. They're in Cabo. I'm watching Scotty, by the way.
Have you seen the video of him losing it on his caddy?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I mean, do you know the details of that?
So he teed off, and I guess his caddy got the wind direction wrong on his tee shot. I'm going to play the audio here for you, Cole. I'm going to bring it up. Let me see if I can move this up. So Scotty is about to tee off right here.
Okay.
Trackman Tracing is presented in partnership with Rolla.
So he's even par here on 16.
Oh, no.
He bounces one
Not the time to be going after a flag stick.
on the fringe, and then it bounces left into the water.
Meant to, but
Mm.
I never thought. I can't hear a word you're saying.
So he's fussing at his caddy, saying, "You're mumbling. I can't understand what you're saying."
Not
And
happy.
It just kind of continues.
He's not happy.
I'm in the water. And it came in out of the right. Absolutely flushed a 7-iron, and we get the wind wrong, and I'm in the water. I don't think you understand how frustrating it is. Like, that was a good shot. You know what? Flushed it, right there. With burning out of the right.
Golly.
Language there, Scotty.
So
Golly.
you're saying that the caddy read the wind wrong?
Yeah. So I guess the caddy read anything other than right to left because you had the pin and off to the left was water, and that pin position was pretty tight up against the edge of the green, and then it's a sharp drop off down to the water. So Scotty, I guess, was really going after that pin, like really attacking that pin. And when you go right at it and the wind then pushes the ball 5-10 feet in the wrong direction, now all of a sudden you're on the edge and you're going in the water. So Scotty real upset about that.
On the Joy Law Firm text line, texter from the 772 gets in and says Diesel really does hate Bryson, and it's hilarious. Texter from the 803, this comes from no name. I'm 41 and have never seen Caddyshack, Happy Gilmore, E.T., or The Goonies. Just watched Princess Bride for the first time last weekend. Texter, a lot of people don't watch
how was
movies.
It in your coma? Yeah, how was it in your coma, Texter? Did you just wake up?
Yeah, Keith and TR says Uncut Gems has the worst ending in movie history.
It does.
Texter from the 772 says I can remember going to the Dollar Movie Theater in Spartanburg back in the day, and it just isn't the same anymore. I remember that. I remember there were the Dollar Movie Theater. I mean, I do. Growing up as a kid, I would love going to movie theaters. It's just
they were packed.
Not the same.
It was the place to be on a Friday or a Saturday night.
I know we talked about this a couple of months ago. I can't remember the last movie I saw in theaters. What year is it? 2026? Have I seen one since Top Gun Maverick? And
Really?
that came out, let's see, that came out in 2022. So it's been 4 years since Top Gun Maverick came out. And
I know. I just went and saw Project Hail Mary in theaters like 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. So I've been to a movie within the last month.
I think 4 years. I think
But
Top
movie
Gun.
theaters are dead now.
Yeah.
They are absolutely dead. I went to the big one in Simpsonville, right there off of 385. One exit away from Hillcrest High School. Cole, that place used to be absolutely slammed with people, and now it's a ghost town.
It's sad.
Ghost town. It's gotten too expensive, way too expensive, and people just say, you know what? I'll just wait a couple of months till it comes out on streaming.
Yeah.
Maybe if the streaming services went away, movie theaters would come back.
How much is a ticket now? What do you think? 10, 15 bucks?
Probably $15.
And you know what? Like I don't mind paying $10 to $12, $13 for a movie. I remember even when I was young, I remember it was still costly to go to the movie, especially when you got popcorn and drinks and candy and all that stuff, right? But Man, it is. It's crazy to think that people won't go to the movie theaters anymore, but it is what it is.
But those things don't cost anything if you sneak food into the movie theater.
Yeah, I think I've done that once or twice.
Got to.
Hey, what is the latest, Diesel, on Kevin Schnall, Sports Talk Media Network, Phil Kornblues, and those guys had some updates on that. We'll get to Kevin Schnall. Also, is there anything other than Schnall news out there that we need to check and get into? South Carolina, is it true that there was a official there late to school last night in the wee hours this morning? Is there a deal being done? We don't know. We'll tell you what we do know next.
Stakes at the door. Call in if you're man enough.
844 Fan Phone. This is Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
Well, what is the absolute latest on Kevin Schnall? A couple of tweets from Sports Talk Media Network. Also an article, let's see what time this came out. Yesterday evening from David Cloninger of the Post and Courier. There is no new news to report at this very hour. However, David Cloninger and others are reporting that the talks are happening. Communication is happening. And look, what kind of communication, what kind of talks, of course, we don't know. I want to bring up this tweet from Sports Talk Media Network, David. This was yesterday evening late at 10:25 from Sports Talk Media Network. He tweeted out, I'm assuming it was Phil, a little something tonight on the South Carolina Surge. David Cloninger of the Post and Courier reported that Coastal Carolina coach Kevin Schnall talked Wednesday, that was 2 days ago, with Gamecock officials and was set to talk again with them on Thursday, which was yesterday. By visual confirmation, USC AD Jeremiah Donati's SUV was at his office Thursday night late. Was told Schnall possibly was in Columbia Thursday, but don't have confirmation on that. I'm going to add to that in a separate tweet, Diesel from Sports Talk. He said a little more to add to our post from Thursday night. This was 4 hours ago. Phil said Jamie Bradford of Gamecock Central and John Whittle of the Big Spur confirmed Donati's meeting with Schnall. Our info is the meeting took place in Florence. This week, Donati also talked with North Carolina coach Scott Forbes to gauge his interest. There is a connection to Forbes on the search committee. Our info is Forbes plans to stay in Chapel Hill. By the way, Schnall's agent is Lee Long of the Ballingy Group, and he is based in Columbia. So maybe a little more news than what we knew yesterday on the show. Not a ton, but maybe that the talks happened last night, whether it was in Columbia, whether his SUV was in Columbia or Florence, wherever it was. By the way, I don't know why Phil Kornblut or whoever this was is tweeting about SUV possibly being at his office, or excuse me, that Schnall was possibly in Columbia, and then he goes on to say, I don't have confirmation on that. Well, if you don't have confirmation on it, you don't tweet it out. I mean, possibly, I could have possibly been in Jamaica this morning, Diesel. Was I in Jamaica this morning? No.
I don't know. You're looking pretty tan.
No, I wasn't in Jamaica. Possibly. You don't tweet something out if there's a possibly behind it. So the fact that Whittle and others are confirming that they talked yesterday, sounds like in Florence, I guess, is a better sign than what it was yesterday when you and I last talked on the air. And maybe possibly good news.
It is unfortunate, Cole, that, you know, some respected accounts, and I promise you I'm not throwing Phil Kornblut under the bus here. I'm not calling him out. But it happens all the time. We saw it with the tweet
earlier in the week, right?
Somebody shares a thought or a possibility or a rumor, and then, you know, it gets through those multiple degrees of the telephone game, and by the time it finally makes its way up to the respected journalist who's probably busy and just doesn't have time to run down every single lead, they talk about it as if there's some factualness to it, and it's just not true. I do appreciate at least that Phil says, I heard, or that it's possible that he was there, but at that point you say it's up in the air. It's anybody's guess.
Yeah. There are, as of right now, the 5th of June, there have been some roster changes at both Coastal and South Carolina, but in Columbia, all but 10 players remain on the baseball roster. So a new coach will have to hit the ground running hard. A lot of departures and not many staying. Whoever does get the job will have a lot of work to do. And at this point, I don't even know if those in Conway, the media down there, if they're really certain. You know, Chance Miller yesterday talking about, well, he doesn't expect him to go, and Schnall meeting with South Carolina last night obviously could change things, but it's just a matter of if he gets it, can he elevate them with the roster that they don't have right now? I mean, whoever it is has a lot of work to do.
Sure. Yeah, that's true. And Matt from Ohio, hang on the line. We are coming to you here in just a second. Cole, it's if it's that big of a deal, and it is a big deal, who's going to be the next head baseball coach at South Carolina, you put somebody in a vehicle watching the Coastal Carolina athletic facility, and when you see Kevin Schnall come out, you follow him. It's that simple. You follow him. You see where he goes. Is he going to Columbia? Do we know his vehicle and his license plate? I mean, I'd be shocked, Cole, if there's the amount of subterfuge to have vehicles that are not Jeremiah Donati's or that are not Kevin Schnall's vehicles being what's transporting them. Vehicles with blacked out windows so nobody can see who's in it. It's not secretive to that level. It's not that hard to follow the guy and say, hey, I saw Schnall on campus, or I saw Donati and Schnall at a Waffle House in Darlington, and they were chatting it up. It's not that hard.
Let's go to the phone lines, 844-326-3663. Matt from Ohio. What's up, Matt?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Great show so far.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, the news cycle is different than what it used to be, and there are a lot of eyes out there, and everybody's got phones, and so I'm sure that this stuff on Schnall will come out and come out quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I had to call in and defend Caddyshack only because, I'm 56 years old, but I mean, I golf maybe once or twice a month, but I mean, it's funny that you guys are talking about this because I was flipping channels the other night, and I think it was like either last night or the night before. Caddyshack was on like USA Network. That movie's been around forever. And if you're a golfer, one thing that I'll say is it's difficult to play a round of golf and not have multiple Caddyshack references during your round. You think about movies and quotable lines, and I get that this generation that the younger generation, movies are foreign to them. And I can't even tell you the last time I went to a movie. It might have been I think I took one of my children to the Avatar movies or something. But, but I think longevity in a movie is quotability. And I mean, I could say 10 or 20 lines from Caddyshack and you guys would know exactly where, they came from. Yeah. So at least most people could. The one thing you guys you were talking about the lack of good golf movies. One of the challenges is always finding people that look like they can swing a golf club. And if you watch Caddyshack, I'm serious. Like if you watch Caddyshack and you watch Chevy Chase swing a golf club, you're like, yeah, he's not a golfer.
Yeah, it's true.
Kevin Costner in Tin Cup was not. Those guys. You just don't find a lot of actors that have great golf swings. I'll tell you one, and I'll jump off here, but I'll tell you one who actually does. You guys have probably seen the vacation movies, right? You know who Cousin Eddie is, right?
Yeah.
I think his name is it Randy Quaid
Randy
or
Quaid,
something like that is his real name.
Quaid.
Dude is a player. I heard he's off the reservation now, but back in the day, he was a player, and he actually made a golf movie that never got big-time release. There was a golf writer named Dan Jenkins who used to write for Golf Digest, and Randy Quaid was in a movie called Dead Solid Perfect, and it was actually a really good portrayal of kind of like life on a PGA Tour as a tour player. And he could actually swing a golf club, so it was semi-believable. But, man, a lot of these guys that are in these golf movies, man, watch him swing a golf club looks like somebody squat or somebody. I mean, it looks like somebody trapped in a phone booth with a swarm of bees swatting, whatever comes at them. So it's crazy. But no, great topic, guys, as always, and appreciate your show.
Yeah,
thanks, Matt.
If you don't sink a putt that's more than 5 feet and you don't say it's in the hole, then you should be thrown off the course. You shouldn't be allowed to finish your round.
No, I mean, it's multiple times.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
you're not being the ball.
Right.
It's in the hole.
No.
I mean,
all that.
Yeah, you could just keep going. So it's just
so good.
And I mean, Happy Gilmore's okay, but I guess I'm just an old guy, and you do. I mean, you're gonna have a buddy every once in a while around that says, "Hey, I'm already 12 over. I'm going to hit this one Happy Gilmore style. And, he tees one up and, stands behind the ball and takes about a 15-yard run and takes a swipe at it. But, Caddyshack has stood the test of time. I mean, it's got so many quotable lines, and you think about the guys in that movie, Chevy Chase and Bill Murray and Ted Knight as Judge Smales. And, that really was a pretty talented cast.
Yeah, appreciated Ted Knight as Judge Smales. Matt from Ohio, appreciate the phone call there. Cole, there's a golf show coming out on Apple TV Plus called Stick with Owen Wilson, and he supposedly is like a former great player that never quite became the big deal that he should have been. So he helps a young prodigy become a golfer. It sounds like a crappy premise. I'm not gonna lie, it does sound like a crappy premise, but it's trying to be sort of that Ted Lasso of golf. The problem is they're burying it on Apple TV Plus, a streaming service that is not one of the marquee streaming services that everyone has, like Netflix.
Real important question here. If reports are true that Jeremiah Donati and Kevin Schnall met yesterday in Florence, I'm trying to figure out where they met. I typed in restaurants, Florence, South Carolina. There is a mall, so I'm not going to give you those. They didn't go to the mall. Way too many people there. You have Julia Bell's small restaurant, Aloha Kitchen, Bird's Nest, Creekside, looks like a bar and grill kind of place. Florence Crab House, take me there, right, for crab legs. Holy Smokin', it's a barbecue restaurant in Florence. Victor's Steakhouse, maybe Victor's, downtown Florence on Main Street, maybe. Tubbs Shrimp and Fish Company, it's also kind of downtown-ish, nice little seafood place.
They would go to a nice restaurant or go somewhere to try to keep it secret that they're having conversations at all?
I'd say maybe a little bit of both if you can find one. There is Oasis 843. There is a Longhorn Steakhouse. Maybe
this meeting at Longhorn.
Maybe you do though. You try to get one of those back rooms back there. Percy and Willie's Food and Spirits. Doubt they went there, right? Starfire Grill, nah. Woodstone Barbecue. I don't know. I've had to have said the one or one of the ones they went to, right? I doubt they went to the Indian Kitchen. Not saying they don't like Indian food, but I need Jeremiah Donati to text into the show and let me know where they met. It had to have been a food. It wouldn't have been a Starbucks, would they? You don't go to a Starbucks.
No, you stop at a Starbucks to use the bathroom on a long road trip.
Yeah.
You don't go to Starbucks for a meeting.
So nonetheless, for those Tolos that just maybe tuned in, no breaking new news other than it's business as usual in Conway. Exit interviews are done. Possible portal players, according to Brandon Dunn of WPDE ABC, possible portal players are being contacted. He does report that, yes, Schnall interviewed for the South Carolina job, but the program, the Coastal program, continues to focus on next year, and that includes Schnall, who remains at the moment the Coastal Carolina head baseball coach. So as of right now, no news in, and we'll see if anything changes in the next 24 hours maybe. John Whittle, he was he tell us he was doing yard work and moving some rocks yesterday, so didn't anticipate it to be a busy news weekend for Gamecock fans. So we'll keep you updated, but I guess it has turned a little bit more positive than what it was yesterday when maybe the thoughts were that Kevin Schnall wasn't going to meet with South Carolina.
Tolos, to stay on the golf conversation here for just a second, a little quick update on what's going on at the Memorial. Ryan Gerard is in the clubhouse. He is tied for the lead with JT Poston. Tommy Fleetwood, T3 at 3 shots back. JJ Spawn, T5. Let's see, Xander Schauffele, T9. Patrick Cantlay, T9. How far back do we have to go to find Scotty Scheffler? Scotty is at +1 overall, Cole. He is done today. He's already finished his round today. He shot even par today, but he's +1 overall. I don't think Scotty's going to three-peat here at the Memorial.
Hadn't been great this year. Scotty 2026 this year hadn't been too kind to Scotty Scheffler.
True. That's true. I mean, we saw yesterday that he had flown up and played Shinnecock Hills to try to make sure he gets in some extra practice rounds before the Open. Maybe he should have skipped this tournament too and just been playing private golf up there at Shinnecock Hills, getting to know that golf course a little better.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, Cole, we talk about big donors, big time money making its way into college athletics. We talk about how Indiana got the gigantic infusion of cash from Mark Cuban, and you see it at a couple of different places. Portnoy and the money he gave to Michigan. Well, look out, Cole. There is a team in the ACC that just got a huge donation for their athletic department. Who is it? Who might be surpassing the Clemson Tigers, Cole? Because you know as well as I do, resources can get you up onto another level very, very quickly. Who is the next big player in the ACC? We'll talk about that to close out the 3 o'clock hour next.
text or call. One number does it all. 844-326-3663. That's 844-FAN-PHONE. This is Wire to Wire with Cole, Bryson, and Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
You know, Cole, there was a part of Nick Saban's speech in front of Congress earlier this week that made me laugh. You know, he talked about college athletics being an arms race and the money getting out of control. It's always been an arms race. It's always been about who can donate the most money. It used to mean who can build the nicest locker rooms, who can have the most amenities, who can basically make the experience for these college athletes cushier and more flashy than the other schools, Cole. But now it's all about who can really raise that NIL money. And look, I don't know about some of the other programs in the ACC, but there is one, Cole, that just got a huge donation from one of its alumni families, and it's going to make this school formidable and maybe finally live up to what we thought this program would be when the ACC added them all those years ago.
Stanford?
No.
Cal?
I mean, there's a lot of money at Stanford and Cal, but no, it's not them.
Okay.
It would be the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Virginia Tech new
Hokies
new
have
coach.
decided to, invest a ton of money into football. The school said that they were investing $250 million into, or $230 million into athletics over the next 4 years. And a couple of months ago, at that point, the largest donation ever made to the university was brought in, an anonymous donation of $20 million towards athletics. But today, Cole, Virginia Tech has announced a $75 million donation directed towards athletics.
How much?
$75 million.
Wow. 75 million only.
Yep.
Okay, so not just football, but athletics as a whole, right?
Athletics as a whole, yes.
Okay.
And it says here that the donation is unrestricted and to be used at the discretion of the athletics director.
Oh, that makes it interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah. So the AD could theoretically put it towards women's diving.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how
Yeah,
much,
that's probably what he'll do.
Yeah, I don't know how much one-piece bathing suits and those caps cost, but I think, Cole, the vast majority, I would say 74.5 of those millions of dollars are going right to football.
As they should, most of it. I'm not saying all of it. I'm not saying football is the only sport that matters, but you're talking about, money makers, right? So, that's a lot of money, $75 million, and I mean $1 million. I would be interested to see what that pie gets cut into. Should every dime go to football? James Franklin might say yeah. Should every single dime go to football, though?
I remember a couple of years ago when it was unbelievable when Dave Portnoy said, hey, I will pay whatever it costs to get Bryce Underwood to Michigan. And I think he paid like $8 million or something.
Right.
It was an ungodly number. Hadn't netted him a title yet. It could still happen. Don't know yet.
Sure.
We heard last year that Mark Cuban threw an undisclosed gigantic number at Indiana. Obviously, that came to that bore fruit. They won a national title from it. The question becomes, Cole, if Virginia Tech can parlay this right, could we be seeing a national title coming to Blacksburg within a couple of years?
Look, I think we talked about it yesterday when it comes to South Carolina and Columbia. Can you get to the mountaintop quicker now than you ever could have? Certainly so. Do you still have to have unbelievably deep pockets? Yes, you do. So can Virginia Tech come up with those unbelievably deep pockets? Maybe so. $75 million is a lot of money. I don't know how that makes them more, and I don't mean this like in a derogatory way. Where does that put them? Does it make them more fruitful immediately? Will it be used over 5 years? Whatever. I just don't know the financial situation at Virginia Tech enough to know. I would imagine those 75 mils definitely a nice little starting place, right?
I mean, if 20 was the biggest they've ever had, and they more than tripled it, almost quadrupled it with this new donation, it's kind of like playing poker, where you're constantly pushing all your chips in. You're constantly going all in. And sure, some programs can pop up and have the ability to do that from time to time.
Yeah.
but that doesn't make them the Ohio States and the Texases and the A&Ms and the Miamis of the world that have a set of donors, enough donors that can give enough money every single year. Because the fact is, like we talked about yesterday, yeah, you're putting in $40 million or $50 million a year into your roster, and that's great. But like 5 or 6 other schools are doing the same thing. And then they still have to go out and catch passes and kick the ball through the uprights and make tackles, which is still the big question mark. You can put all this money on the field, Cole, but there's no guarantee that they're going to play the best. They're still humans.
You still got to coach them. You still got to perform. You still got to develop talent. But here's the reality. The money helps. The money helps get you there. And are you building programs anymore? No, not really. You're not really concerned about do you care about development? Sure, you care about development, but you don't care about development the way you did 10 years ago because you don't need this quarterback for 3-4 years anymore. You can just go buy you a new one, whatever the new shiny toy is up on the shelf. So I think if it's something Virginia Tech can sustain, maybe so. Like I said, it certainly helps. And with James Franklin going into his first season, I mean, what a boost that is. What a shot in the arm that is for James Franklin. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It would be nice to finally see Virginia Tech be what we all thought they would be coming out of the Big East.
Yeah, Diesel, let's get into Super Regional Baseball. Super Regional's already underway. Super Regional Weekend is here. We'll get to that. Talk college baseball next right here on the Fan Upstate. Well, the college baseball super regionals underway. College baseball regional last weekend, Diesel, those games provided some really good scores, some really good games, and some big-time upsets as well, especially when you talk about the likes of UCLA, the likes of Georgia Tech, teams that we thought were just the absolute best. No way those one seeds would lose. Well, here we are. Super regional weekend is here, Tolos. If you've had a busy day, not sure what's going on in the college baseball world, we're going to set the table for what this weekend will hold when it comes to college baseball. And obviously the biggest local story being Kevin Schnall, possibly coming to South Carolina. If not, who do the Gamecocks come get? What do you prefer talking about this time of year, Diesel? For us, you and I, we cover the Gamecocks. Would you rather be talking about the Gamecocks in the Super Regionals or the Gamecocks getting a new head coach like we will here soon?
Oh, well, obviously you want to talk about them being in the Super Regionals, right? I mean, it means everything is going well. It means the coach there is really good. It has the team humming. But, it's an interesting conversation nonetheless. Of who the next coach is going to be, because this is a winning starved fan base, and you and I both know how hungry the South Carolina Gamecock fans are to get back to winning at a high level. It's certainly a bigger challenge than it's ever been to be able to bring that program back, but luckily that challenge exists in an era when it's theoretically easier to buy your way back to relevance.
I'm going to give you 2 wild stats. Before I do that, let's get you updated on what's happening today. Already, West Virginia, possibly an interested candidate for the Gamecocks. West Virginia all over Cal Poly. My gosh, 12-2 in a super regional, 14 hits for the Mountaineers, Diesel. They had no problem. And I mean no problem with Cal Poly, so West Virginia with a big win today. And right now, a really good game going on. North Carolina leads USC 2-1, bottom of the third inning. Tonight, 5 o'clock, Little Rock takes on Troy. I don't know about you. I'm interested in this game, maybe more so than any other game today. It's just a fun matchup. 2 teams that it doesn't feel like are supposed to be playing each other in the super regionals, right, Diesel, in college baseball? And then 8 o'clock tonight, Ole Miss, Auburn should be a good one. SEC matchups, but I don't know. Of the ones today, this USC North Carolina game has been a really good one thus far through 3 innings. But this Little Rock Troy, give me the 2 little guys. Give me those. I'm excited to see that one tonight.
Yeah, I love it because that means one of them will advance, right?
One of them's got to.
One of them advances to Omaha. North Carolina is I can't tell if this is a replay that they're showing right now or if they just hit another run in, but I know North Carolina just bombed a fly ball deep.
I think that's live.
So that does score a run. Okay,
I think it's 3-1 now.
A double that scored a run, 3-1 North Carolina, bottom of the third. So a runner on second, no outs.
Yeah, how about that? How about that double from Pawson just now, and it's 3-1 Tar Heels. Oh, look at them.
It's fun to know that, like I said, at least one of these mid-majors is going to go. Obviously, I would tell you that Troy playing in the Sun Belt Conference, which is tougher than wherever Little Rock just moved to. I forget what conference they moved to. I would tell you that I think Troy probably has a much better shot to make a run and win some games. But who knows, man? It's college baseball. Things get weird. Maybe Little Rock is good enough that they can surprise some teams as well.
So I'm going to preview some of these matchups, but before I do that, the 2 stats I have for you. The first one, Diesel, I'm going to ask you a simple question, okay? Can you give me an adjective to describe this stat? Can you do that? I'm going to give you this stat. Yeah. You give me an adjective.
Give you one word.
One word. All right, here you go. With UCLA's regional loss last weekend, the number 1 national seed has only won 2 national championships since 1999. The number 1 national seed, the best team in baseball since 1999, going on 30 years now, has only won the national championship 2 times. One adjective.
Stunning.
Stunning? Shocking? Are you kidding me? Twice?
with the stat being so far lopsided in the other direction, saying that they are usually not going to win the national championship, I would say predictably unpredictable, but that's too many words.
And you don't does that prove that, or does that mean that you don't want to be the number one seed, the number one overall seed in college baseball?
How does how does that happen?
That's
How
bad.
does being the number one seed, like you've had an entire season to prove how good you are.
I'm telling you.
And you were amazing all season long, and then all of a sudden you just can't get it done.
That is a wild statistic. All right, one more for you. This one belongs to the ACC. The ACC gets the credit for this one. Despite being a southern warm weather league, Diesel, for the most part, with volumes of baseball history, hundreds of alumni who moved on to play pro ball, right? The ACC has only won 2 national championships ever.
Wow.
Did you hear what I just said?
2 ever.
Did you hear what I just said?
That's a proud tradition that has not produced results.
Can you believe what I just...
Gosh.
When
I'm
I
trying to
read
figure who those 2 teams would be.
When I read that, the 2 teams, by the way, Wake Forest in 1955, and Virginia did it 60 years later.
God.
So here, is that the stat of the day or what?
You know, I'm not versed in like 60s, 70s, 80s college baseball lore, 90s college baseball lore. I would have thought, I would have sworn that North Carolina might have won one, that Duke might have won one. You know, you got some really good teams in there. And we're talking about teams that were in the ACC when they won it, right? So you can't go back and, you know, retroactively possibly pull a Stanford or a Cal national title.
I mean, I'm telling you, I'm reading this off of ESPN.com, and I'm telling you, even me reading it, I don't believe it. Like, I just don't believe it. There's
just going to get the machine to fact check ESPN?
There's just no way. There is no way only 2 times has an ACC ever won a national. There's just no way. I'm telling you, the ESPN's wrong. I mean,
Florida State never won one.
There's no way this is true. By the way, I'm reading this from Ryan McGee. Would Ryan McGee put this in would Ryan McGee lie?
Ryan McGee has a whole team of researchers, Coley. Locks them in a room, doesn't let them out except, 1 hour a night at midnight.
I'm just telling you.
These people know.
I'm stuck on this. There's no way this is true. I mean, I'm going to Google how many teams in the ACC have won the College Baseball World Series. Ryan McGee says 2. Google Gemini says 2. I mean, Diesel, find me a more crazy, insane stat in sports, any sport, MLB, NBA, college football. You can't. Virginia won it in 2015. Wake Forest won it in 1955. The ACC has won 2 national championships in college baseball with all the schools in the South. You said it. North Carolina, the Wake Forest, they've won 2. You're talking about bagging on a conference.
So here's another one for you, Cole. What conference has the most number of college World Series championships? And it's not even particularly close.
Oh, that's a good one. Which conference has the most? I'm just thinking recent years. Okay, can I go through recent years? Sure. I don't know if recent matters. LSU won it last year. LSU won it a couple years ago. I know Tennessee's won it recently. Mississippi State won it recently, and Vandy was, they won like 2 or 3 right there. I know Coastal won one like 10 years ago. South Carolina obviously won back-to-back in 10 and 11. I'm just it might not be wrong, but I'm going to go easy answer SEC.
You are wrong.
Okay, who would it be?
You are wrong. The SEC holds 19 championships in the College Baseball World Series.
Don't
19 for the
don't
SEC.
say Big Ten.
LSU 8, Vandy 2, South Carolina 2, Florida 2, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Georgia, Oklahoma. They all have national titles as well. The Pac-12
Oh, my gosh.
has won the College World Series 26 times.
Wow.
7 times more than the SEC has.
Wow.
Now, most of those national titles are now in other conferences.
Yeah.
12 of them for Southern Cal. They're now in the Big Ten. 5 for Arizona.
Southern
State.
Cal's won 12.
Southern Cal's won 12.
Dear
5
Lord.
for Arizona State. 4 for Arizona. They are now obviously in the Big 12. Oregon State
just won it recently.
They've got 3.
Yeah.
They are still in the Pac-12. It's a completely new look Pac-12. Cal has 2.
That's insane. That's insane. I knew Oregon State won it in recent years, like 2018, 2019, something right before COVID. But my gosh, that's USC's won a lot of national championships in baseball, hadn't they? I mean, that is a lot.
Real good.
But
Real good
what I'm just thinking, though, in recent years, I mean, it's been all SEC. It's been SEC, dominance.
They're catching up.
They are.
I mean, they're gonna catch up and surpass over time, obviously, because the Pac-12 is just not going to be winning titles anymore.
Well, they've won Vandy, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, LSU, Tennessee, LSU. They've won 6 in a row. So the SEC's won 6 straight World Series. Coastal Carolina won it 16. They were the runner-up last year. South Carolina was the runner-up in 2012 to Arizona. The year before that, they won it. The year before that, they won it. LSU won it. That's interesting. That is really interesting. RJ on the Joy Law Firm text line says Ryan McGee, the pride of Travelers Rest High School. Devil Dog Ryan McGee, right? How about that? I love that. All right, games this weekend. No Georgia Bulldogs tonight. I gave you the games tonight. Tomorrow, Mississippi State and Georgia play Diesel at 11 a.m. Cal Poly, West Virginia at 12. North Carolina, USC at 2. Troy, Little Rock at 3. Auburn, Ole Miss at 5. Oklahoma, Kansas at 6. Oregon, Texas at 8. And then St. John's, Bama at 9. Look, Mississippi State's a good team. They've won 43 games. Where I start, though, this weekend, when you talk about these matchups, with Diesel, with Georgia Tech being gone, with UCLA being gone, I think Georgia's the best, most dangerous team left. I do. They're the highest remaining national seed, number 3 overall. They have a very elite offense. They're very battle-tested. I don't know that I would say they're the favorite to win it, but I think they're the most dangerous. They were one of the only top seeds to survive regional weekend. Now, how do they handle being the favorite? I don't know, but just from a storyline standpoint, you look and you tell me if you see a team out there that you might would ride a little bit more than Georgia, but of the teams remaining, and I know that Cal Poly absolutely got smoked by West Virginia, and Saban's team looked pretty good today. But I think Georgia's my team, and I hate to do it, but I think they're the one I look at right now and think they're the most dangerous team left.
Yeah, Georgia it's a very easy answer to pick Georgia. Cole, I might, and I hate to do this. I don't want to say this because it burns to say these words out loud. But I may say that these North Carolina Tar Heels are
they're good,
almost as dangerous as the Georgia Bulldogs.
They're good. They're good. I mean, look what they're up 3-1 right now. No, they certainly could. They could certainly make a run. They've certainly make a run.
48 baseball games this year. 48 baseball games.
I think so.
And they're consistent, right? This is one of the most consistent programs in the country over the last decade and a half or more.
Here's fun one, Diesel. A fun question. There are, let's count, take your shoes off. How many SEC teams left? You've got Ole Miss, Auburn. That's the only SEC teams today. Tomorrow you've got Mississippi State, Georgia. You've got Auburn, Ole Miss. So there are, and then Texas and Alabama. Is that 8? So you've got Bama, Texas, Auburn, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Georgia, Mississippi State. Yeah, I mean, the majority still SEC schools. Would that be in the case? Would the majority still be in SEC schools? And let's see, still 2 SEC schools playing tonight. Would you say SEC or the field to win it all this year? I know you just said North Carolina has got a good chance.
I would. I mean, they're going to get a ton of teams in Omaha, right? I mean, Ole Miss and Auburn, one of those teams is going to be eliminated. There's another series. Which one is it? The Mississippi State-Georgia series. That's a SEC series. So one of those 2 teams is going to be eliminated. So it's possible, Cole, that you have I think
there's 7 SEC teams right now.
3, 4 SEC teams in Omaha.
Yeah.
I mean, like half the field.
And like I said, it could be they've won 7 of the past 8 College World Series. Diesel, what's fascinating, they've also had at least one team in 15 of the past 16 championship series. Think about that. They've had at least one team in 15 of the last 16 championships. No, the defending national champions are not playing. LSU didn't even make it to the field of 64, and 3 other schools were bounced on opening weekend. But 7 teams in the Supers, at a minimum of 2 will be in Omaha, guaranteed. The fact that 2 of this weekend series are interconference throwdowns between Georgia, Mississippi State, right? Auburn, Ole Miss. The record for the most teams from one conference in a single men's College World Series is 4. You just mentioned you could have maybe more than that. It has happened 5 times.
5. There could be 5. So if Alabama beats St. John's, that's 1. If Texas beats Oregon, that's 2. If Oklahoma beats Kansas, that's 3. Then you got the winner of Auburn, Ole Miss, and you'll have the winner of Georgia, Mississippi State.
And how many Big Ten? This is fun. How many Big Ten schools are left? 2. Yeah. 2. And you know what's wild? You talk about the ACC's drought in college baseball, Diesel. The Big Ten's last World Series title came in 1966.
Oh, my God.
Steve Arlen, Ohio State, started 5 of the Buckeyes' 6 games. Yes, I said that right. He won MVP, outstanding player. Now you're talking to the 1966 is the last time. And
he had an arm left after throwing that many ball games.
No. So the Trojans represent one half, right? And then who's the other? Is it Oregon? The Ducks?
Oregon. Yeah.
Who are looking for their first World Series appearance since 1954. 1954. The Big Ten, they're down bad in college baseball too, so it's not just the ACC. And here's another wild one for you, real quick before we run to a break. The Big 12 only claims 2 titles as well, just like the ACC. And you know who won those 2 titles out of the Big 12? Texas, who's now in the SEC, 02, 05. Is that not crazy? But only one of the conference's current teams have won College Baseball World Series, Oklahoma State in 1959. The upstart Kansas Jayhawks, seeking just their second trip to Omaha. They host Oklahoma, which won 2 of those Big 8 branded World Series titles back in the day. And meanwhile, West Virginia, 2 wins away from their first College World Series invite ever. So, boy.
This isn't more evidence, Cole, that these conferences need to break back apart and go back to being regional again or go back to where they were prior. I mean, look at it. You got this consolidation of national championships now in the SEC because, I mean, if you take away what conference they were in at the time, you bring them into the SEC, all of a sudden a ton of them are there. A ton of these championships are now in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And those 2 conferences basically dominate all of them. You know,
it's wild, man. This is
sport in addition to others.
This is a fun postseason. Just some like Little Rock, and I mean, it's not what you expect. So that's what makes it fun. So I can't wait for the games this weekend. Again, one going on right now. We'll keep you updated on that as the show goes on.
What chance, if they get to Omaha, Cole? What chance does Little Rock have of winning the shot challenge at Rocco's?
Maybe not much. I don't know how much they. I don't know how much they care about it. I mean, they're just excited to be at the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, unless LSU fans start calling in just because they feel like, oh, it's that time of year, we need to start calling in and buying shots anyway, and they call in and say they're Little Rock fans. It's going to be fun to watch. Cole, let's get back into this baseball conversation, and we'll stay here with Andrew Rydell of College Baseball Central. He's going to join us in the very next segment to continue breaking down these supers. That's coming up next.
FanFoneSports.com. The ball's in your court. Sound off now at 844-FAN-PHONE.
This is Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
North Carolina leads Southern Cal right now in the Chapel Hill Super Regional. To talk about that one and all things college baseball, Andrew Rydell joins us on the show. He is of College Baseball Central. Andrew, how do you consume these college baseball super regionals? Take us into your office, your living room. Are you watching on multiple screens? Are you watching alone? You can't have anybody else around you. Bring us into how you take this stuff in.
I'm currently in my office watching. I got UNC, USC on my laptop. I had West Virginia and Cal Poly on my TV earlier, but with this next game coming up, I believe Troy's next. I'll be moving to the laptop, and UNC USC will be moving to my TV. So,
Andrew, it sounds like you're about to get arrested. Are you okay?
yeah, I am. I guess there might be a fire down the street from me or something.
No, just play. Hey, appreciate you hopping on as Cole. Always appreciate your time. In the very last segment, Andrew, Diesel and I were just fascinated by some of these statistics. Who do you think has more egg on their face, Andrew? Which conference? The Big 12 for only being able to claim 2 College World Series titles, or the ACC? The ACC, and the craziest stat I've ever heard, where the ACC only has 2 World Series titles as well. Which conference has an excuse, and which conference has more egg on their face?
I think the ACC's got a little bit more egg on their face. I think the Big 12, they can have a little bit of an excuse. Obviously, not having Texas in there anymore kind of hurts. Oklahoma was just in the College World Series finals a few years ago. And then the ACC, you look at some of these teams that FSU really pumped out. Georgia Tech these last few years. Georgia Tech, the number 2 seed. They're not even playing for Super Regional. But the teams that Mike Martin coached at FSU, Miami, these last couple of years, it's kind of been a downer in the ACC, where you look at the teams they've had and the players they've been producing to go to the major league level. It's kind of been a downer for the ACC. So I think the Big 12, you kind of give an excuse. I think they're on the up and up, but the ACC, them not having a big presence in Omaha, the last few years has been disappointing. The possibility of only having one or zero ACC teams in Omaha again, it's going to be very disappointing.
Andrew, maybe the easy answer is either UCLA or Georgia Tech, 2 teams, the 1 and 2 seeds that I think a lot of people expected to maybe even be playing for the national championship. They're both eliminated. Can you give us an idea of who is the most shocking exit so far? And is there a team that maybe was pretty high up in the national seeding that you kind of had an inkling that maybe this team is a little bit of a fraud and didn't quite have the bats or didn't quite have the arms?
Well, so I wasn't it's going to sound like a lie, but I wasn't that shocked to see UCLA drop out. Did I have UCLA again in Omaha? Yes, because of the lineup they had. But they've been playing a lot of close games in the back half of their schedule. They lost the tightrope a lot in their Big Ten tournament. Oregon took them to extras, and I think they went to extras against Nebraska as well. So I thought they're walking the tightrope there. Georgia Tech, I was more shocked with. You're up 2-0 going into the championship game Sunday. You feel very good. You have one of the best lineups in the country, and then you let a bunch of freshmen from Oklahoma shut down that offense. I was more shocked with that. And then looking at the national seeds this year, Florida, I'm shocked. I expect them to make a move on their coaching staff, not with Kevin O'Sullivan, but I expect them to part ways with some coaches because of how disappointing this year was. You look at their pitching rotation, Aiden King, Liam Peterson leading the way. Aiden King was phenomenal, but Liam Peterson, he's going to be a day 1 draft pick. He'll be drafted in the first round. And again, they're going 2-0 into your championship, and then you let Troy, and this is nothing against Troy, nothing against Skylar Meade and his ball club, because they did everything right after dropping that first game against Miami. They were phenomenal. But Florida, you can't let that happen 2-0 with your ace in the hole there. So, yeah.
You know, we talk about conferences, Andrew. The SEC's dominated in recent years. I think it's 7 of the last 8. Obviously, you saw Coastal Carolina win one not too long ago now, about 10 years or so ago. But when you look at these 7 SEC teams remaining, would you go SEC or the field to win it all this year?
I'm going with the SEC this year. I mean, Georgia just looks unbeatable. Do I hope I am wrong? Yeah. I hope I'm very wrong because I'd love to see a West Virginia or Kansas, even UNC. I believe UNC is actually the betting favorites on some sports books, but I just think Georgia's lineup is too dangerous. And when it gets to Omaha and you see the wind in Omaha, it could either be blowing really in or it'll be blowing straight out that we're going to see games be not 20 to 10, but we're going to see a lot of high-scoring games. So I think Georgia plays for that ballpark very, very well.
You know, it's a quirk here, Andrew, that it's possible that we have 2 teams, the 2 Trojans, making their way to Omaha. That's fun. It's 2 Trojans going against each other, Troy and Little Rock, and then if Southern Cal can find a way to battle back and continue on, could have 2 Trojans in Omaha. You know, one of the things that I love most about college baseball in this postseason format is that it really encourages mid-majors getting to the big dance. There's going to be a minimum of 1, possibly 2 making it there to Omaha. Of those 3, the Cal Poly, the Troy, and Little Rock, who do you think might have the arms and the bats to get it done, to get some wins?
I think Troy. And again, it feels weird saying Troy because they're also playing another mid-major. But I got to see this Troy team up close in Gainesville last week, and they got the arms, the bullpen, the way Skylar Meade managed that bullpen last week looked like he was coaching for the national world to see, be like, this is what I can do at this level. And the arms he had there was phenomenal. And then the bats there for Troy, Drew Nelson's playing banged up for them. He's their left fielder. He's been phenomenal. Jimmy Janicki, what an awesome name, and also an awesome player for them, Sunbelt Player of the Year. And then Blake Havill, the Australian. I really hope that Troy fans, if they do win the Super Regional, they travel to Omaha because they do the Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi chant for Blake Havill. And he is a phenomenal left-handed batter for them.
Andrew Rydell, College Baseball Central, joining us right here on the Fan Upstate, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, 97.7 FM Greenville, 101.5 FM in Anderson, anywhere on the free Odyssey or iHeartRadio apps, as well as the TuneIn app. You can also watch the show live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Andrew, when you look at these teams, obviously the importance is this weekend, but you just said a name that I want to go back to for a minute, Skylar Meade. You said he's doing all he can to show the country, to show the nation, hey, here I am. Why not the team that's looking for a coach where Skylar Meade just so happened to play college baseball, where Skylar Meade just so happened to be pretty good? I know Kevin Schnall in South Carolina is the hot, attractive, sexy topic right now, but why is Skylar Meade out of the conversation?
I think Skylar Meade should be in that conversation. I think that I believe he's been linked to it from some South Carolina sports reporters, and I can confirm those linkings. I think that the interest there is real. It's Schnall, which it looks, I don't know which way that's going from conversations I had, but I believe Skylar Meade is in that mix, and I believe he deserves a shot. When South Carolina hired Paul Maneri back a few years ago, Skylar Meade was the runner-up, I believe, there. He interviewed for that job back then. But it's no sour ties there. Meade Meade's obviously focused on Troy, but if that opportunity came from South Carolina, he would lead that program rightfully in the right direction.
Andrew, for those of us who have never been to a college baseball World Series at Omaha, I'm an App State alum. We're never going to make it there. We're awful in baseball, even though we're in a talent-rich area, and everybody around us wins, but we don't. What does Omaha do that is so special, the way that it embraces this college baseball tournament?
It's such a perfect area to do it because the stadium, Charles Schwab, is such a beautiful stadium, and the amenities around the stadium as well. It's a very walkable area, but even if you want to tailgate, the parking lots are beautiful over there. And very spacious parking lots that you can tailgate. The hotels there are beautiful, wonderful. It's, like I said, it's a walking space, so that's what makes it so easy for Omaha to host. They have, I think, 8 hotels around that area, and then you have such amazing restaurants, bars, and things to do in Omaha because it's such an historic site. You can walk over, I believe it's called the Peace Bridge, over to Iowa quickly. It's a quick 5-minute walk over there. It's beautiful. And then obviously the historic Rocco's where they do the Jello shot challenge. Rocco's are very fun. It gets very lively. Last year with LSU fans, they made a very big dent in the alcohol sales there. And hopefully with some more SEC teams probably coming to Omaha this upcoming week, I believe that we're going to see some records broken at Rocco's next week.
Hey, Andrew, right now North Carolina leads USC 4-1. We've talked about some SEC schools. We talked about Georgia. North Carolina, a team that can win it all this year for you, and why?
I think they're the most complete team. I think Georgia, they struggle on the pitching side a little. Their offense for Georgia is amazing. Pitching and offense for UNC is unbelievable in my opinion. Obviously, they started Ryan Lynch today, and it sets up perfectly if they hold this lead because they'll hand the ball to Jason DeCaro tomorrow. They have a 1A, 1B ace type for them. The lineup is unbelievable. You have Macon Winslow. You have Eric Paulson at first base for them. Their lineup is unbelievable, and it feels like they're Owen Hall. It feels like their lineup doesn't get a lot of credit from the national media because of how good their pitching staff has been. I think that they are probably the most complete team to make a run for a national championship. I think they got freshmen stepping up. Owen Glaubler, he's been phenomenal for them, and it's been very, very fun to watch this UNC team. I think Scott Ford has what it takes to take this team to a national championship this year.
So, Andrew, of these super regionals, are you going pretty chalky across the board based on their seedings, or do you see any upsets coming out of these supers?
I see a few. My big one's Oregon and Texas. Oregon's going to upset Texas, I believe.
Ooh.
I feel like Oregon, they gave UCLA a run for their money. They gave USC a run for their money earlier this year, and I think Oregon has what it takes. I know they're going to a very hostile environment. They're going against one of the best pitching staffs in the country, but I feel like Coach Waugh is over there in Oregon. He's got the docs ready to go at Texas, and I think their lineup's very good too, very explosive, and they do the little things right. It's West Coast baseball. They do a lot of the little things right, and they can take advantage of mistakes that a bunch of these bigger schools make at times.
Hey, let's go through that. Since you just said, and Diesel asked you about chalk, let's go through them real quick. You're the expert here, the expert predictions. West Virginia's already won today. North Carolina's leading USC. Troy Little Rock at 5 o'clock. Rapid fire. Who wins?
I think Troy. Wins that one. I feel more confident with the lineup for Troy, the pitching staff for Troy.
Okay.
I believe it's Ben Stutz on the mound for them. I feel very confident in Troy.
Ole Miss, Auburn tonight. Who wins?
I think Auburn. Auburn with Andres Alvarez on the mound. They're not pitching out of line this time. I think Alvarez goes out there and dominates Ole Miss lineup.
All right, rapid fire for tomorrow. Bulldogs versus Bulldogs. Mississippi State, Georgia. Who you got?
I got Georgia.
Okay.
Mississippi State's throwing for Lindquist, but I think Georgia takes care of business.
Yes or no, West Virginia closes out Cal Poly?
Yes.
Okay, let's see, Oklahoma, Kansas.
Kansas.
You've already talked about Texas, Oregon. Last one, St. John's, Alabama. Who do you like?
Give me the Johnnies. Give me St. John's. Give me Queens baseball. I think St. John's, going back to the Big East tournament, this team's been slept on the whole year. They're the number 1 seed in the Big East tournament, and it felt like the committee disrespected them, giving them a 4 seed. I can see St. John's taking care of business in 3 there.
Talking to Andrew Rydell. He joins us on the show. Andrew writes for College Baseball Central. Look up that publication and get involved in their work. Andrew, can you project out maybe a year or two into the future? And this may be a difficult thing to do because the portal and coaches changing all over the place. But, who is really investing in baseball at a major level that isn't maybe here at the Supers that you think a year from now or 2 years from now could be making pushes towards Supers and to Omaha?
I think actually here in Florida, UCF and the Big 12, I believe they're trending in the right direction. They're funding 34 scholarships. They're trending in the right way with NIL. And then I got to go to Coastal Carolina as well. I'm not going to speculate on anything. Right now, Kevin Schnall is their head coach. If Kevin Schnall is their head coach for the next year and a half, 2 years, they are going to find their way back in Omaha. There's been some players leaving the portal, and you see on social media, they're just trying to get to Columbia early. No. Kevin Schnall isn't happy about this year and the way that it turned out. With Cam Fluke getting drafted, he's looking to retool quick to get back to Omaha.
Andrew, let me follow up on what you just said there. One of my biggest issues when they came out and said they were going to fully fund scholarships or allow teams to fully fund scholarships for baseball for the entire roster, I was afraid that would eliminate some of the recruiting advantage for some of the smaller schools. You could say, hey, I'm Kevin Schnall at Coastal. I'll give you 30% of a scholarship, whereas South Carolina is only going to give you 15% of a scholarship. So come play for me. I was afraid that would kind of squeeze out some of the little guys. So far, would you say that my fears were unfounded?
I think that the little guys are still fine. Look at Little Rock. Little Rock took LSU. I believe they are still at the 11.7 mark for scholarships. And look what they've done these last 2 years. Back-to-back conference championships, especially being under 500 last year and then running the table after going to the losers bracket and winning out in their conference championship. They sweep through the Hattiesburg Regional, and they took the national champ to the brink last week. Chris Curry's done a phenomenal job recruiting there, and I think the little guys are okay. I think mid-majors are okay, depending on the conference.
Yeah.
I think some conferences are different, and some schools are different. Tulane, for one, their tuition is $101,000, and they are still funding, I believe, 11 scholarships, and their athletic director is out here celebrating getting $1 million in donations.
Wow.
And still asking for more donations for more baseball scholarships. So it's a double-edged sword there, in my opinion, depending on the conference. Because you look at East Carolina and the job that Cliff Godwin's done, he's been able to retain Braden Burris. That was just announced today. And that's one of the best players in college baseball going into next year, in my opinion. Then you look at some smaller schools that have that high bill where $101,000 makes it hard for players to want to come and play there with only a 30% scholarship.
Andrew, you're the best. As always, appreciate your time. We'll talk to you again soon, man.
Will do. Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely. Andrew Rydell, College Baseball Central. Really good stuff there from him. Always appreciate his insight. One of the very best there from Andrew Rydell.
It's fun stuff, Cole. I love to see how the game is changing. And, it's fun. The more things change, the more things stay the same. The big brands are going to be here because they have that championship pedigree. But, it's always fun to see that one of the little guys is going to make a run.
It is. Hey, speaking of little guys, a lot of other little guys around the sports world. I'm just kidding. Not little guys, big guys,
little stories,
big gals, little stories. Our Daily Wires. We'll get to it next, right here on the Fan Upstate.
844 Fan Phone. This is Wire to Wire with Cole Bryson and Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
Well, it's time to get to our headlines. Diesel, the most interesting sports conversations, topics. What's going on? It's our Daily Wires. The Buzz. Series tied at 1. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There's no way. When I went to bed, I fell asleep on the couch last night. They were down. The Hurricanes were down 2-0. I thought, oh, it's over. They overcame a 2-0 deficit on Thursday, defeated the Golden Knights 4-3 in overtime. Jarvis's heroics and 3:56 into overtime came after a thrilling third period, including 4 goals being scored. I doubted them. And here, man, Lord, what a comeback, Diesel.
I doubted him too, man. I doubted him too, and part of it is because of that replay, that goal that was called off essentially for goalie interference from Las Vegas. That kept Carolina's hopes alive.
Unbelievable. The San Antonio Spurs are favored by 6.5 points tonight at home, hosting the New York Knicks in Game 2 of the NBA Finals. New York leads the series 1-0. Can they make it 2-0? We'll find out. Let's see what else. The Atlanta Braves were defeated on Thursday by a score of 7-2. Not a good night last night for the Bravos. Could not get the sweep over Toronto. The Braves are now 42-21 and have an 8.5 game lead over the Phillies in the NL East. The Bravos back in action tonight versus the Pirates. Martin Perez on the mound for the Braves. That is a 7:15 first pitch.
Let's go.
Texas.
One.
Yes, Texas opened the 2026 Women's College World Series with a 6-3 loss to Tennessee. They immediately put the Longhorns on their heels the rest of the tournament. However, they ended it by once again hosting an NCAA championship trophy into Oklahoma night. Gutierrez and Tegan Caven, I think I pronounced both of those right, combined to give up 3 hits and 1 earned run in 6 3/4 innings as number 2 Texas knocked off number 11 Texas Tech 4-1 and swept the best-of-3 championship series of the 2026 Women's College World Series. We'll get to this later in the show, Diesel. The Bears took a significant step towards leaving Illinois on Friday, and I mean significant. That's all I'll tell you because we'll dive deeper into it later in the show. In Tampa, Florida, speaking publicly for the first time this offseason, Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield said that contract extension talks are not anywhere close to what we're thinking and that it's time to get something done long term. General Manager Jason Licht has said multiple times this offseason that there isn't a specific timeline the Bucs are working on or working off of, but Mayfield said he and his agent Tom Mills provided one by training camp, which will open late July. So Baker Mayfield is putting a timeline on the Bucs front office. You better have it done, says Baker. Diesel, this is not great news if you're a Yankees fan. New York Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge has been diagnosed with a stress fracture of the first rib on his right side, and is expected to return this season. The team announced Thursday night. The 3-time All-American MVP missed 3 straight games as he underwent various tests this week to pinpoint the reason for discomfort that had hampered him for an extended period. So it's the fracture of the rib. It took a lot of doctor's appointments to figure that out.
Ow, I've never broken a rib. I've known people that have cracked ribs and broken ribs, and it is apparently incredibly painful.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Brutal.
I can imagine. So those, Diesel, are your daily wires.
That and one more here for you, Cole. We did mention it earlier in the show. The unfortunate passing of NASCAR Hall of Famer Ned Jarrett, 2-time Cup champion, broadcaster. He'd been around the sport for so many years. A major figure. Obviously his sons did great things. Dale Jarrett did a great job in NASCAR for all those years. It's unfortunate, but he had a great life and made it to 93, man. If only we could all be so lucky.
Yeah, no doubt. Sad to hear.
When we come back, let's get into a story that you mentioned there for just a second. The team that is potentially leaving their longtime home in the NFL. And, Cole, we'll talk about other teams that are not where they ought to be next.
management here. Diesel, Cole Bryson, and the Tolos go the distance on Wire to Wire. fields to the courts, and the gridiron to the tracks.
Electrifying sports talk from start to finish.
You're going wire to wire
With Diesel and Cole Bryson.
on the Fan Upstate.
If the Chicago Bears are not located in Chicago going forward, Cole, into the future, then shame on every single person. I'm talking about governors, city and county councilmen. I'm talking about the ownership of the team. I'm talking about everybody involved. Shame on them if they let the Chicago Bears get out of the state of Illinois. We're going to talk about that here in just a second, talk about the latest and sort of place blame, Cole, on how this thing got to where it got. But before we do that, before we talk about the Bears potentially leaving the city that they are named for, let's talk to Cocky for a Reason.
Oh boy.
Cole, I'm not sure how many.
I asked him to call in, by the way.
Has had.
Yeah.
I've seen photos. I know there were piles of empty glasses and cups around him when he left. But Cocky for a Reason. How are you today?
Cocky kept tweeting at you and I, Diesel, and I tweeted at Cocky, and I said, Cocky, you've got to call in at 5 o'clock. I saw what he was partaking in, so good to hear from you.
I'm glad I'm able to call. You know, that's always a good thing. You know, so.
Good thing you didn't roll down that hill to the par 3. You know.
Oh my gosh, wasn't it right? Oh, but hey, I wanted to call in and give a Thornblade clubhouse beverage ranking.
Okay, let's do it.
I think Diesel can maybe back me up on this.
Have you sampled them all since your time being there the last 2 days?
No. I'm doing a top 3.
Out of what? 4, 5? How many drinks do they have?
I don't want to look too bad. So I stopped at ranking them at 3.
Okay.
So
I can't wait for this.
I'm gonna go. I'm number 1. Or no, let me do 3. Let me do 3 would be the mojito.
Okay, mojito.
That mojito was a straight up mojito. I mean, it was good. It was a good basic straight up mojito.
Was it was it good muddled in the cup? Were there pieces of mint all in it?
It had mint. It had the lime. It was straight. It wasn't a flavored mojito. It was a straight up mojito. Lime. It was good.
Mojito number 3.
Mojito.
Okay.
Number 3. Okay. Number 2 was the Sweet Spot.
What is
Tell us
that?
about the Sweet Spot.
The Sweet Spot was it was kind of like because they had a orange liqueur in it, so it was like an orange margarita. So it was that's what it was like.
Okay.
But it was good. It was good. It was good, tasty, refreshing beverage when you're hot drink.
I'm noticing a trend. You've named 2 tequila drinks at 3 and 2.
Yeah. Now number 1 could hurt you in a bad way. It was that blackberry transfusion.
Ooh, that's what I had today.
Wasn't it great? Can you back me up on that being number 1?
A transfusion. So I did the traditional transfusion, not the blackberry transfusion, but this is known as golf's greatest drink for a reason. It's basically alcoholic grape juice, Cole.
Yeah, that is. Listen, that is no surprise that that's your number 1, because anytime you ever hear about golf, like Diesel said, that's usually at the top of the list.
Yeah, I mean, you could, when you're walking the course, you can get your ultra or whatever. No, but if you're chilling and you're looking, on a refreshing drink, hey, you got to go with the better drink, So
it's the way to go. It's the way to go. Good crowd this morning. Can you give us a sense of what it was like later on this afternoon?
Oh, it's still good. Still good. I forgot who it was. Like I said, we did some. Me and a customer was walking and stuff, and I picked up a group on 15, and they was playing some good golf. Because at 15 and 16, they got that back-to-back par 5s. Mm-hmm. And 3 of the guys on the group, they went 15 and went birdie, birdie, birdie. And then we followed them, and then went birdie, birdie, birdie again. It's like, these boys is playing some golf,
So I noticed earlier, Cocky, that Bill Murray had a big crowd, and I was part of the contingent that followed him around the front 9.
Yep.
Grant Horvat behind him had a huge crowd Did anybody else draw that kind of crowd?
I didn't catch up with them, but there was somebody up in front where we were at on that back nine that had a big crowd. I didn't know who it was, but somebody was up there good because they had a pretty good crowd. I just didn't catch up to them.
Probably you. You probably had a good crowd. Cocky for a reason.
Nah. I did run into I don't know if you know, the ex guys. I did run into the old Gamecock Eats. I think he's now barbecue barn. Yeah, ran into him in the clubhouse. It was good. It was good to see him. You know, we had some interaction in the past, so it was pretty cool. I said, "That's him." So I got in behind him and I shot him turn around, look behind you.
Are you going back tomorrow and Sunday, or are you cooked?
No, I'm in for the duration, baby.
I'm
only halfway done. What are you talking about?
I love it. Cocky for a reason. We appreciate the live check-in.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the
you
phone
can't
lines.
beat that, by the way. I mean, what a great call.
You and I were guessing yesterday, Cole, how many pops he might have been in before he called.
Yeah.
Today, I know how many pops he's in because
Several.
he sent us photos.
Several.
Yeah, several, more than that. Let's go to the phone lines again. Bring in Tom in Somerville. Tom, I think you'd fit right in, Tom, on a golf course. You know, I think you'd fit right in working one of these bougie golf course events. How come we can't get Tom in Somerville up to the Pro-Am?
Nobody sent me an invite. But you know, I played golf in Nashville last week, and Cocky for a reason mentioned the transfusion he had today. I tell you, I had about 6 of them at the golf course in Nashville last week, and it made me hit the golf ball a lot better. At least I thought I did. It's the best drink you can get on the golf course. If you know, you know. But, guys, I was sitting at the office desk today, and you know what I said? I said, you know what? As soon as I leave here, I'm going to drive up to Columbia, and I'm going to get me some answers about the baseball search. Because, guys, the portal has been open for 5 days. And right now, we got about 18 players in the portal, nobody coming in, and we still don't have a coach yet. And, you know, it's not like we just up and decided on June 1st we're going to get a new baseball coach. Like, time is ticking, and we need answers. So, you know what Tom's going to do? He's going to march down to Columbia. Well, not march. It's too hot. I'm going to drive down to Columbia, and we're going to get some answers. And come Monday, we're going to be celebrating the baseball coach one way or another. Whoever it may be, we're going to have us a baseball coach come Monday.
What are you going to say, Tom? What are you going to say? What are you going to do? What are your demands going to be?
Well, first, I'm going to stop by Office Depot, and I'm going to get me a sign, and I'm going to make a sign, and it's going to say, hire a baseball coach or else. What that or else is yet, I'll figure that out.
So Tom, you know, there's all these conflicting reports as to whether or not Jeremiah Donati was in Florence, whether or not Kevin Schnall was in Columbia. Nobody seems to know. You know, there's no FlightAware for you know, Cadillac SUVs. We don't have any cash, Tom. We don't have any money, but what would it cost for us to task you for the weekend of tracking Jeremiah Donati and Kevin Schnall to keep tabs on them so that we know for sure if they're meeting? Because there's all these tweets coming out that says they're meeting, but nobody knows for sure.
Well, you can get me a 6-pack. How about that? I will
That's
get
cheap.
the answers.
Okay, that's a cheap price. I sold.
Hey, also, Tom, since you're a big Gamecock guy, Diesel and I played the game earlier. If they met in Florence last night, what restaurant do you think Jeremiah Donati and Kevin Schnall ate at? No, you got to pick a restaurant. Pick a restaurant.
Well, the thing is that I don't know Florence restaurants like that because I don't go to Florence. Oh, wait, maybe they went to the Buc-ee's. maybe they.
The Buc-ee's. The Buc-ee's. That's what the brisket sandwiches.
Yeah, they probably went and got a chopped brisket sandwich, some of those candied almonds, and they sat in the parking lot shared some ice cream, and they figured this thing out.
Oh, they got a Kenny Rogers T-shirt while they were at it, a box of popcorn, a new motor for somebody's boat, like a trolling motor. I mean, you can get everything at Buc-ee's.
Yeah, but reports were though. But Tom, you might be okay. Reports were that they met, and maybe the Gamecocks will get their guy here in the next 24 hours or so.
They better, because I'm telling you, I'm on the way to Columbia right now, and I'm gonna get me some answers, and we're gonna have us a coach by Monday.
Well, thank God,
says Tom.
Yeah,
or else. What are you really willing to do,
Yeah.
Tom? You say or else. People say that, but what does that actually mean? What are you willing to do?
That's what I got to figure out. I gotta weigh the risk.
That's an important part, though. That's an important part. Tom, thanks for the call as always. Tom in Somerville, or else Tom. And the Gamecocks, Diesel, we'll see. If Jeremiah Nottie or anybody in power listens to Tom, they might have their heads screwed on the right way, but if not, they'll be in trouble.
What if Tom in Somerville said, hire a new coach, or I will renounce my Gamecock fandom and put on an orange T-shirt?
I don't think Tom would ever do that.
I don't see. He's all bluster, man.
Yeah.
It's all BS.
I don't think he'd ever do that.
Cocky for a reason. Tomorrow, you need to look out for Christy Mann, one of our OG Tolos here. Christy Mann says she's going to be out there, and she says she's easy to see, easy to find because she's in a walking boot.
Oh.
It's like an orthopedic walking boot. So, cocky for a reason. Christy Mann, we need to get you two meeting each other tomorrow.
I like it. 844-326-3663. Tolos, a reminder that Andrew Rydell, College Baseball Central, joined the show earlier at 4:22, talking Super Regionals. We'll have that for you in case you missed it at 6:22, coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. And we have going back to the phone lines, Diesel, again.
We are going back to the phone lines. We got Rick in Greer. Rick, tell us why you're not allowed to go on fancy golf courses.
I don't know. What can it?
I could imagine Rick is banned from every golf course because Rick, I don't think Rick owns a shirt with a collar on it. You got to wear a nice shirt when you're out of places like that.
Look. I have. Okay. I go to Walmart.
Rick, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Take us off speakerphone or take us off your Bluetooth or something, Rick.
I got you. That is.
That's better. That's better.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me ask you a question. How many of y'all was it Monday or Tuesday? You were off all day long. What happened?
No, it was just your radio. It was just your radio in your car.
We targeted it at you, Rick, because you called in and said you poo-pooed on somebody's
Yeah,
car. We said we can't.
It's
we
a you
can't
problem.
Be associated with riffraff like Rick.
You problem, not us. We can actually. What we can do is, you don't know this. We can block users with their car radio. So if we don't want you to listen tomorrow, we can just cut out your car radio and you won't be able to listen to the show.
Don't do that. I'm listening to y'all.
Rick, what are you doing with your phone? Are you in a swimming pool?
No, I'm driving. I'm delivering food to people less fortunate than me.
Oh, that's called Papa John's delivery. Papa John's delivery customers are not less fortunate. You're a delivery driver.
Yeah, he works for tips, and that means he gets part of their fortune when he delivers them food.
I just can't with Rick. I can't do it.
Rick, appreciate the phone call, Rick. Sorry, we are having some issues with your phone. So
thanks, Rick.
It kind of cuts in and out. You sound like you throw it across the room, and then you.
God, I mean, you talking about brutal. Just an absolute brutal phone call. But Rick, always appreciate you.
RJ texted in on the text line earlier, Cole, and said, how about those cardiac canes? Sound the siren. He gets back in and says, strong outing for Boiling Springs alum Chanson Cole today versus Cal Poly. 7 innings, 2 runs, 8 hits, and 11 strikeouts.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
Wow.
good. Transferred in, by the way, to West Virginia. This was his first season, became a Friday night guy pretty quick, and that's pretty big stuff. By the way, thanks for that text, RJ. Always appreciate that, and good to hear from you, Christy. Man, on the Cardiac Canes front, though, I went to bed, or I was watching the game. I got home late last night, like 9:45. Turned the game on, laid on the couch, Diesel, and they were down 2-0. They had more. Here's what was wild, though. When they were down 2, they had more shots on goal than Vegas. And I mean like almost double the amount of shots on goal that Vegas had.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there. You're sitting there thinking, how are you losing 2-0? You've had more shots on goal. They were, I believe it was the break between the second and the third. And I think when I watched the few minutes that I did, the third period started, I fell asleep thinking, oh, Carolina's down 2-0. They're going to go down 2-0 and have to go to Vegas down 2-0. Woke up this morning. Overtime? Are you kidding me? So RJ's right. The Cardiac Canes, I thought they were down and out last night, Diesel.
Yeah, I'm with you as well, man. I despaired. I gave up on them. I thought, man, this team's going down 0-2 in this series, and these Vegas Knights are legit, right? I mean, I thought that Carolina was gonna crush in this series. Hadn't been the case. Cole, if you haven't heard the call yet of the final goal, the game-winning overtime goal, this is directly from the Carolina Hurricanes broadcast crew. Here that is, and it sounds absolutely magical. Listen to this.
This goes diagonal for Aho. They go back and forth with it. Aho along the right wing boards. Back up top, it's Gostisbehere. Send it across it.
That's pretty good.
Oh, when the voice breaks.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That's pretty good. Good call. I mean, listen.
Maybe the most famous one-timer in Hurricanes history.
Ooh.
Wow.
Let me tell you this. How pivotal was that, though? How important was that one game last night? That epic comeback, down 2-0. Think about it. They don't come back from that, Diesel. They're on the road going to Vegas down 2-0, and that series is probably over. Like, you're not winning both of those games. I don't think you might win one, and even if you win one, you're down 3-1, and then you're coming back to Carolina. That was just huge, and I don't know what kind of kahunas it takes to be able to get that kind of comeback and have that cardiac mentality. But, man, let's say this were to happen. If the Hurricanes were to go on and win the Stanley Cup, you look back at last night's game in Game 2 and say, man, the Stanley Cup was won in that third period. That's what you'll say because of how important last night was.
Yeah, it's and you can look at it and say, hey, look, maybe Freddie Anderson had a tough game number 1. Maybe he was still distracted by his agent passing away. Maybe Claude Lemieux, agent and close friend, and maybe that had something to do with it. I mean, Vegas was. I mean, let me rephrase this. Carolina's defenders put Freddie Anderson in some tough spots multiple times in that first game. I'm not saying last night was perfect, but it clearly seems like they were clogging up the lanes in a different way in game number 2 than they were doing in game number 1. And this team, Cole, I mean, we saw what happened in the last series, and they gave up a big loss in game number 1, and then they won 4 straight to close this thing out. I mean, it's their MO. It's entirely possible.
It's impressive, man. It's impressive. I was really worried, woke up to the good news. So if you're a Hurricanes fan, congratulations to you on that. A cardiac comeback is exactly right, just the way RJ described it. Diesel, let's get back into some audio. We played a few snippets earlier in the week. Nick Saban, maybe the story that's not being talked about this week enough, maybe the biggest story this week, Nick Saban on the stand in Washington, testifying, trying his absolute best to save college sports. A little listen and react. Let's get a little more in-depth with that audio from Nick Saban next.
844 Fan Phone. This is Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
Well, the biggest, I think, most important audio from this week, maybe the month of June, maybe 2026. We played a few snippets of it earlier in the week, Diesel. Nick Saban trying to fix college sports. It's not really being talked about the magnitude that I think it should be. I don't know if people are just used to this modern era now and they really don't care. You mentioned yesterday why more coaches aren't out there advocating like a Steve Spurrier, But Nick Saban, I think, has garnered. He was one of the most, if not the most well-respected head coach ever already. But I think, Diesel, he's garnered so much more respect for what he's doing because it shows what he's doing that he cares about the future of college athletics.
Yeah, I mean, we've been asking Nick essentially to step up as the voice or the czar, which is what a lot of people asked him to do.
Yeah.
Clearly, I don't think Nick Saban wants to be involved in the day-to-day running of college football.
Sure.
But he still has a lot to say that is impactful. And Cole, it's annoyed me and it's bugged me to no end that as soon as, Nick Saban comes on and says all these things that are true, and we're going to play some of it here. He says things that are true about the way college football is going, not being healthy for the sport long term. People immediately shoot it down like, "Oh, Nick, your guys had cars when they were at Alabama. They had this, they had that." Like, I'm not saying that Nick Saban was a saint in recruiting. I'm also not calling him a massive cheater, but I'm not an SEC fan of a school that's not Alabama. And people will immediately shoot the messenger and say, you did this, you did that. Even if that's true, it doesn't make him wrong.
Let's listen and react, Diesel. You feel free, and I might stop it a few times too. What he had to say was very good. And Tolos, you can get in on it at 844-326-3663. There you go, Diesel.
I think name, image, and likeness has become pay for play. I said 5 or 6 years ago, when a school that I'm not going to mention who didn't do anything wrong had what is called a collective. A collective is an organization that raises money basically from alumni to be able to pay players and disguise it as marketing opportunities. When a school did that, the first school that did it, I said, is this what we want college football to become? And I got really criticized for that. But it has become that. And it's become pay for play. And we've also extended the opportunities now to funnel money from operations, which come to the universities as marketing opportunities from the university standpoint, to funnel that money out of operations into paying players. So now if you take that $20 million or whatever it is, you could fund 5 or 6 Olympic and women's sports. So these are things that I think need to be addressed. And I think this bill takes a big step forward in doing that.
What I found interesting, Cole, he's talking about funneling money from what should be essentially institutional pools of money into pay-for-play pools. I'd love for Nick to be specific. Like, I know he's walking a tightrope and he doesn't want to throw specific schools under the bus, and he certainly doesn't want to throw Alabama under the bus, the school that he coached and won a lot of national championships at. But Cole, I mean, I would love to hear some evidence here, right? There's a lot of pay for play and this is bad and schools are using money. I mean, it happens in politics all the time. I mean, for God's sakes, we have a gas tax here in the state of South Carolina that's meant to fix the roads. The roads suck. They're not using that money for fixing the roads. They're using it for other things instead. It happens all the time, but I would love to hear some more evidence and reasoning why this is bad, right? Instead of just
in terms of
bad, you got to tell us why it's bad and why it's going to hurt the sport going forward.
You're saying evidence in terms of pay for play. What kind of evidence?
The evidence where he talks about money that it's intended for institutional use being funneled into pay for play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty bold assertion that says the university is supposed to be using it for building buildings and hiring tutors and making sure the nutrition is what it is, institutional support, and then it just being turned into, hey, how can we funnel more money into our quarterback's pocket?
Well, I can tell you this from what I've been told. You have rev share. You also have NIL, right? And then you also have a bucket of apparel. That apparel bucket is also being used to create these NIL packages. So the NIL package to X player will come from rev share, it'll come from NIL, and it'll come from apparel. So those three are making up the majority. Now, every school structures it different, moves it around different in terms of how they structure it. I mean, maybe a couple of, I don't know, case stuff. I don't know what you know, if he gave examples of where it was taking place, if that might fit you better. But I've seen enough. I've seen enough in college athletics. I 100% think that change needs to happen. So I don't know if he is walking a tightrope, kind of like you said, in terms of not wanting to call anybody out directly, because he said I'm not going to name the school there. So he might be trying to be careful when it comes to that.
Sure.
Politic a little bit.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, again, you don't want to throw a particular school under the bus here because you're not trying to hammer. Let's say he's talking about Mississippi State is where he heard this example at. He's not trying to hammer Mississippi State. He's trying to help Mississippi State, even though the evidence of what he's talking about is the symptom is what he's talking about, evidence of why this needs to change, why this shouldn't be allowed going forward.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
Okay.
So I think this bill also creates a competitive balance. The NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, they all have some kind of rules that govern how they compete. It creates parity. It creates
It's talking about like draft order, stuff like that.
Gives you the opportunity to have a framework to build a fair play system in, which I think is really, really important. And I think this bill does that. Right now in college football, we have no rules. We have state laws. We have different in every state. We have litigation. The NCAA cannot enforce their own rules because every time they try to enforce the rule, there's a lawsuit. So, I mean, an example would be Ole Miss's quarterback. They say he can't play next year. He's playing next year because of litigation. So, but this is just the way it is. It's become an arm race. Who spends the most has got the best chance to win. But I think it's a race to the bottom because if you don't spend to win, you lose your fan base and you don't have any revenue. So how do you manage the other sports? So the one thing that I think this bill does, sort of enhance the enforcement of the House settlement, which to me is a start, which sort of creates a revenue share, kind of a cap, and also controls some of the name, image, and likeness things that this bill tries to control.
So he touched on something there, Cole, and maybe we can't have a draft, right? That's not how college athletics is set up. It's recruitment base. Maybe he could provide some changes that could be made to mitigate some of those problems. Roster size reduction, scholarship size reduction. You can't have this many guys on your team. But he's dead right. And what he's saying that every state is going to have their own laws, and they're going to make their laws, obviously, that are most advantageous for the schools in that state. Now, Ole Miss got this law passed. Maybe down the road, Mississippi State can benefit from it as well. If there's another quarterback that finds himself in a similar position that Trinidad Chambliss was in, maybe Mississippi State can say, hey, so-and-so, why don't you come down here and play at Mississippi State? North Carolina's not going to let you play because their law says you can't play. The state of Florida is not going to let you play. Why don't you come to the state of Mississippi and we'll get you out there on the field?
Yeah, I also thought it was interesting when he talks about the race to the bottom, like we think it's bad now. And I think like one of the main reasons Saban and others are trying to help us navigate this because if we think it's bad now, what does it look like 15 years from now, just in terms of money spent? Does the money eventually run out? Do people eventually say no? We talked about it, and he gave an example of what NIL budgets were when he got to Alabama. I think it was just over $2 million compared to what it is now. You talked about in the recent days, Diesel, what roster NIL budgets were 5 years ago compared to what they are now, what they'll project it to be 10 years from now. So I don't know. I think my brain, maybe it's my ignorance, I just don't know how it lasts financially. Like, where do we keep getting more and more money? If rosters continue to go by or grow by X percent, where's the money coming from? Does it really grow on trees?
Well, a good example that he could have brought up to your point there is this new deal from the Big 12 and their private equity partners that are offering $30 million per school, essentially in credit, to be able to recruit talent. So that right there, Cole, would point to the notion that maybe the money is already drying up. At some point, even the biggest schools with the richest fan bases will eventually bankrupt their fan bases because they're not going to be they're not going to be willing to spend it every single year. You can't have a losing investment every single year and want to continue investing. If you say, I'm going to put $30 million into Microsoft stock every year for the next 10 years, and Microsoft never turns you a profit, eventually you say, I'm going to stop investing in Microsoft. Yeah. So, we're already at the point where programs are so strapped for cash, especially for the amounts of cash that it takes to compete on a national scale, that their conferences are doing deal with creditors.
Yeah. They're so far in debt. Look what the debts are to these schools, and we talked about it a couple of months ago with Clemson. These schools are so far in debt, and the fans, nobody understands, or people don't care about that. They don't care about any of that. It's just keep borrowing more, keep spending more, and let's go win a championship. It's a weird place. It's weird, man.
There's a lot of people on social media, Cole, when these topics come up, they always argue they're missing the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
Oh, athletes are better off than they've ever been. Well, will athletes be well off if programs have to shut down because they can't afford to operate anymore?
I know. Yeah, it's a scary thought.
If every single G5 program, as well as I do, that most football programs, even the best in the country, Cole, operate at a deficit. They operate at a loss. They borrow money from students. They beg for money from alumni. They're not making profits. And now you've added a $20.5 million additional cost onto them.
Yeah.
In what way are student athletes going to be well off if there's only 7 or 8 programs left?
Yeah.
So
let's go one more or two quick minutes.
Okay.
So transferring, I think transferring is a good thing. I don't think a player should be trapped in a bad situation. But I also think multiple transfers have a negative effect. I think there can be legitimate circumstances where you can transfer more than once. I think if you graduate, you should be able to transfer again because you might have a 5th year where you can have more success someplace else. But unlimited transfers creates free agency. Free agency with a collective, now you're talking about bidding more for players. And then you've got agents out there that are not certified, that are enhancing players or encouraging players, get in the portal, I can get you more money. So now we have this unbelievable number of players that get in a portal every year, and we have nothing to control agents. We have nothing to control tampering. Clemson had a player that was on campus for a whole week, and they come and got him off the campus and took him someplace else. So these kinds of things going on in college football are absolutely not what any of us signed up for relative to the educational institutions that, we've all tried to represent. So what's the cause and effect of transferring? I think every time you transfer, you have less and less of an opportunity to graduate. This hits home with me because I actually coached 50 years ago when people didn't graduate, and we saw 30 for 30s on what happened to their life. And we worked hard for a long time to get graduation rates where they are. And I'm proud of the fact that we had 668 or whatever the number is, graduates at Alabama over 17 years. So we need to get back to, that kind of atmosphere in college athletics.
You can stop it there.
Yeah.
I don't know. And here's the hard part. Here's the tough pill to swallow. Saban and so many others got in it for the right reasons. There are fewer and fewer people, Diesel, who are in it now for the right reasons. They don't care. They're in it to profit for themselves. They're in it to continue to climb the ladder, make money. Saban, Dabo, others out there got into coaching for the right reason. I don't know that there are many coaches out there now that have that same feeling. And as much as Saban wants it to go back, I do too. I just, like you said before, how do you put the toothpaste back in the bottle?
I heard over the course of all the clips that we've just played here in the segment, Cole, I hear a lot of woe is us. Woe is us being the schools, right? The sport as a whole is in trouble. He finally gets to the point, Cole, where he touches on it, but he doesn't provide enough evidence. And again, he's speaking to Congress members here. He's also, in my opinion, Cole, speaking to the general public because, millions of people have heard this audio in the past couple of days. I think Coach Saban, and maybe this stuff comes out in committee, I don't know. He needed to touch more specifically on the negative effects on the student athletes. He talks about transferring too many times. Every time you transfer, you lose some of your credits and you never get a college degree. Are we setting our student athletes up for success? Because, here are the statistics. Guys that play college athletes who don't graduate, they have an X, Y, and Z poverty rate, or they have an X, Y, and Z literacy rate, or they have these problems. He needs to be far more specific on how the way college football is set up. Yes, it may be benefiting some student athletes tremendously financially, but for everyone else who keeps transferring, looking for more opportunity, and also losing more and more credits and never graduating, it really sets them back in life.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think that's where it needs to be touched.
I don't know if he has enough time to be specific and gives examples on everything in the time period that he had. I'm sure that if you sat down with him for 6 hours, he probably could, right? I just don't know that he had that time. It's interesting, and obviously it'll continue to develop, and we'll see if Saban can be the superhero. We'll see. We hope he is, and I guess time will tell.
Cole, in Chapel Hill, things have taken a turn in the super regional between SC and NC. We'll talk about what's going on there next.
us at all. 844-326-3663. That's 844-FAN-PHONE. This is Wire to Wire with Cole, Bryson, and Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
Well, Cole, normally when you're going into the sixth inning with a 5-1 lead, you feel pretty comfortable about where you are in a baseball game. But North Carolina rested on their laurels, Cole, and Southern Cal has fought back in a big, big way. A 5-run sixth for USC, a 2-run seventh for the Trojans, and now they have an 8-5 lead in Chapel Hill in game number 1. I mean, North Carolina, obviously they pulled their pitcher that gave up 5 runs in the sixth, but he was just getting popped all over the field.
Yeah, you know what? Just like those Hurricanes last night, we thought USC was dead to rights, and North Carolina got off to a pretty good start, and here they come surging back now. What'd you say, up 4 runs now?
Up 8-5 right now.
Oh, 8-5.
9-5, excuse me. Now it's 9-5.
What a cushion. What a cushion. Top of the seventh. Still some time for North Carolina, but my gosh, how the tables have turned. It's 2 good baseball teams. 2 really good baseball teams, and look at Troy, by the way. Look at little old Troy.
North Carolina had an opportunity, Cole, and Southern Cal put one for a deep ride out to center field.
Yeah.
North Carolina had an opportunity there to sort of limit the damage that was taking place in the sixth. I think at the time the score was 7-5. They tried to make a play at the plate. Shortstop had the runner on third dead to rights, force out at home plate. And he throws the ball wide, like 5-6 feet wide, away from the catcher, and allowed another run for Southern Cal to score. So North Carolina has definitely shot themselves in the foot in these last 2 innings.
Be tough to come back. You get that momentum heading into game 2 tomorrow. We'll see. Little Rock trailing Troy 5-1 right now, top of the third. West Virginia, Cal Poly went final earlier today. No issue, though, Diesel, for the Mountaineers. 12-2 win over Cal Poly. And
14
then
hits in the game for Mountaineers.
Pretty good. 2 hours from right now, Ole Miss, Auburn, and SEC clash. Auburn favored tonight, over-under set at 9.5. Some good stuff tonight. And then not to mention the NBA Finals game 2 tonight. Talking about big, how important is this for the home team, San Antonio Spurs tonight, Diesel, trying to avoid, listen to this, a similar situation to the Carolina Hurricanes last night. If the Spurs go down 2-0, having to go back to New York, I don't want to say series over, but tough spot's right. Tough spot.
What did I go? I went Knicks in 5 or Knicks in 6.
Yeah.
And I
went Spurs.
Spurs.
Yeah, and after the game 1, it was evident in game 1 things can change, but game 1 New York looked like the much better team. Obviously, still a ton of basketball to be played. Maybe San Antonio comes out, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Diesel, let's dive back into a conversation we had earlier in the show. Tolos, you can get in on the conversation as well. Diesel was out this morning at the BMW Charity Pro-Am. Grant Horvat, a bigger star than Bill Murray? Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? We'll dive into it next.